Today, we're going to zero in on just one building in the UK, the Vera Mitchel building, to really break down two huge principles that shape what a property is truly worth. It's a fantastic case study, and it shows why some locations are, well, pretty much bulletproof.
So, let's just start with a big question right off the bat. What actually makes a location priceless? Is it just a zip code, or is there something more? Something about the life, the energy, the constant hum of activity that surrounds it? Just keep that question in the back of your mind as we go through this.
All right, so our journey takes us to the city of Leicester in the UK. And we're not talking about some theoretical project here. Nope. This is a real, standing building that we can look at to figure out what makes a location a true powerhouse.
And here it is, the Vera Mitchel building. Now I want you to focus on one word here, completed. It's not a blueprint, it's not a promise of what's to come. It's a real, physical, bricks-and-mortar asset. And trust me, that distinction is absolutely a crucial piece of this puzzle.
So, what is it that makes this one particular spot so special? Well, it all comes down to what we're going to call the three city anchors. Think of these as three massive, unshakable institutions that form the very foundation of this location's value.
Let's break them down. The first anchor, and you could argue it's the most stable one of all, is healthcare. And in this case, it's represented by the massive Leicester Royal Infirmary.
Now, here's what's so powerful about a major hospital. The Leicester Royal Infirmary isn't just a place people go when they're sick. It is a gigantic economic engine. I mean, it learns 24/7 all year round. That means it needs a huge, constant workforce. We're talking doctors, nurses, and all the contractors and support staff that keep a place like that running. This creates a steady, reliable, non-stop demand for housing right on its doorstep.
Okay, so building on that foundation of constant activity, let's look at anchor number 2, education. Because right next door, you've got De Montfort University.
A university, just like a hospital, is another one of these incredible economic engines. Of course, you've got that constant flow of students who all need a place to live. But think bigger than that. You also have the academics, the researchers, visiting professionals from all over the world, all of them creating this dynamic, year-round buzz and a steady demand for housing and other services.
And that brings us to our third and final anchor, which adds this whole other layer of cultural energy and, let's be honest, pure excitement to the area: professional sport.
This is where the cultural heartbeat of a location really kicks in. We are talking about the King Power Stadium, the home of Leicester City Football Club. Now, if you follow football at all, you remember their unbelievable Premier League win back in 2016. That was a miracle season. That kind of history puts a place on the global map. It draws in huge crowds, tons of media, and creates an electric atmosphere that you just can't manufacture.
So we've got healthcare, we have education, and we have professional sports. But the real magic here isn't in any one of these things by itself. It's how they work together, how they overlap, to create what you could call a zone of activity, where the whole thing is way, way bigger than the sum of its parts.
This quote really just nails it. The closeness of all three, the hospital, the university, and the stadium, creates overlapping, non-seasonal activity. And that phrase right there is the golden ticket.
So what on earth do we mean by non-seasonal activity? Well, it's pretty simple. It means the area doesn't have an off-season. The hospital is always busy. The university runs on its own academic calendar. The football club has its schedule of matches. So when one might be a little quieter, the others are buzzing. This creates this incredibly consistent year-round level of activity, which guarantees constant demand. It just smooths out all the crazy peaks and valleys you see in other places.
Okay, let's shift gears now to the second major pillar of value for this building, the value of certainty. In a market that can feel pretty unpredictable, this is a really big deal. It's that simple, powerful idea: what you see is what you get. This slide just lays out the choice for a buyer so perfectly. On one hand, you've got an off-plan property. What is that? It's a promise. It's a projection. You're basically buying an idea based on future assumptions. But on the other hand, you have a completed physical asset, like the Vera Mitchel building. You can literally walk up to it, you can touch it, you can see the quality for yourself, and you can feel the community around it right now. There's no guesswork involved.
So let's bring this all home. After looking at all this, what is the core takeaway? What's the bottom line? Well, it really boils down to two simple but incredibly powerful keys to value.
And here they are. It's this simple. First, you have a strategic location that is constantly powered by that relentless engine of non-seasonal activity.
And second, you have the undeniable, rock-solid certainty of a physical building that you can see and touch today. It's that one-two punch, a dynamic location combined with a tangible reality that creates true, lasting value.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a world that's full of uncertainty, full of future promises, is the ability to buy a finished, tangible asset in a proven, active location, is that the ultimate luxury? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.